I actually had someone in real life ask me what I've been doing. I will give you one guess. Who do you think I mentioned when she asked me who to watch?
Well, I just assumed it would be...
I'm JJ. I am a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat mostly meat. In fact, recently I've been eating nothing but meat and eggs.
Your steak consumption has been through the roof.
Yes, I went from not eating it at all to I had 3 steaks today.
I actually had someone in real life approach me this weekend and ask me...
You mean IRL?
IRL. And ask me what I've been doing. So it was pretty exciting because that is pretty rare for someone to approach me in person.
And say, what did they say?
They said that you look great. And they asked my age because they're about my same age. They're like, so you're in your 50s, right? Which for women is like the menopausal cliff usually. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And she's like, and it's tricky because she's like, it's not like you needed to lose. I'm like, no, I didn't think I needed to lose that much weight either, but I've lost 30 pounds and I feel great, mental clarity, hormonal health, et cetera, talked about a bunch of stuff, but this person asked a lot of good questions. And so that was really fun. This person sincerely just seemed like, oh, I really am curious what you are doing because I've seen such a difference in you.
So what did you say?
I told her I eat mostly meat. I mean, it's the same stuff I talk about here. Mm-hmm. I talked about my hormone health. I talked about my mental clarity. I didn't lose weight for a while, but my allergies started resolving and I saw all these benefits.
But did you say carnivore or keto at all?
I did not say carnivore. I said mostly meat. And this person brought up keto.
Okay. The
keto word. And so then that gave me, I felt like I had more of an avenue to go down talking about keto as well. I said, yes, keto. And they asked whether it was it just doesn't seem sustainable. And I said, well, once I moved to the mostly meat model, the triple M, I said it actually got a lot easier to sustain and just mentally and cooking. So we had a pretty good conversation. And she did ask me who I watch on YouTube, because I think I mentioned that in our conversation. And so then it was that moment of deer in the headlight, like where do I go with this? So no, I did not say, well, by the way,
Who's the guy on, I don't know if he's Instagram or TikTok, who looks at a how-to that's really involved and then he just shows you the simpler way to do it? I can't remember his name. He's hilariously funny because he has this facial expression of, this is just so stupid.
But it made me realize that there are people who might approach us from different directions. They're going to be different ages, different demographics, etc. But one of the big divisions that I saw was, is this person coming to you knowing about carnivore? Like you say carnivore and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. Or, oh, are you doing carnivore? If they seem really open to carnivore, I would tell them another list of names than someone who doesn't seem to be open to carnivore. Now, I'm not saying this person wasn't open to carnivore. Like I said, we didn't talk about it. I didn't bring it up openly. But I will give you one guess. Maybe I even told you, I think. Who do you think I mentioned when she asked me who to watch? Now,
well, I just assumed it would be Dr. Berry.
No.
But that wasn't it.
That wasn't it. Because I think you need to be a certain demographic, possibly, or like know about, be carnivore curious.
Okay.
To jump into Dr. Berry.
I see.
I think he is not everybody's cup of tea. Like he might actually turn some people off of carnivore. I
can see that.
Yeah.
So
I love him, by the way. So he brought me in.
Dr. Chafee.
No, but this person was the correct demographic.
Well, that's why I was headed there. I was like, well, if it wasn't Dr. Berry, then you were Dr. Chafee.
No.
I think Dr. Baker's probably a little too I don't want to say he's like in your face, but he's just very masculine about his whole presentation.
He is very
style.
masculine. Yeah, he is.
And he's not super eloquent.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of already be willing to kind of be in his
Exactly.
vibe.
Exactly.
So you sent this person to Steak and Butter Gal.
No, I don't think I want someone who's not too sure about, like, this person doesn't eat red meat. I forgot to mention that. Doesn't eat red meat. So I don't think I'm going to send her to Bella at this point. So I can't believe you failed.
Okay, well, who did you send this person to?
Dr. Eid.
Dr. Georgia Eid?
Dr. Georgia Eid.
Change your diet, change your mind, take a drink.
Yes, I sent this person to Dr. Eid, and Dr. Eid recently did an interview with Judy Cho, who I like Judy too. So this interview, you know I love Dr. Eid. I do. It's ridiculous. But in the first 5 minutes, she lays things out so clearly that I think this is one for the ages.
Okay, we should link to this in the show notes.
Okay, you can do that.
So you'll have to send me it.
But the big thing is, Dr. Eid, even in this interview, says that she meets people where they are with their diet. And that's what I feel like in her book, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind, as you said. You know, she talks about paleo as well. She's got diet plans for paleo and carnivore and keto. I think it's paleo, keto, carnivore, something like that. But this video is about the 5 foods that no one should be eating, I believe, some title like that. So I sent her there. But it got me to thinking, who else would I send someone to who's curious, but not necessarily, I don't know if they're like carnivore curious. So if someone, I've got a list over here. So if someone's not totally open to carnivore, you're not sure. Dr. Eid, obviously.
Yep.
Ben Bickman. And he's the same. He's not carnivore.
Right, yeah.
Right? But he does the research. He's great. The ketogenic woman. Now, she's sneaky. I mean, she's not sneaky, but this is sneaky because her title is Ketogenic Woman, right? That's the name of her channel. But she's doing carnivore at this point. So it sort of introduces that carnivore concept without, you know, her being Dr. Baker and his muscles all that, right? And she's got a gentler approach and all that. So yeah, I might give them 2 crazy ketos, maybe. That's a possibility. And then here's sort of the around the way again. I might give them Carrie Mann, Homestead How, and Jen.
Yeah.
Just his enthusiasm and the work he does around, well, healing humanity. So you get all these different case studies, basically, with all these different health conditions, all different demographics, etc. But he's hardcore carnivore.
Yeah.
So, and I might also give Laura Spath, who is also pretty hardcore carnivore. She does have pickles every now and again. I know.
Carnivore card removed.
Gone. But Laura, too, I really like how she approaches eating different meats. So even, especially this woman who's not a red meat eater, Laura has all kinds of videos about eating other things as well, eating other meats.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think all of those are pretty good for someone who you're not too sure about. If you have ideas, go ahead and put them in the comments, too. Well, I would love to hear it.
I have an idea.
Oh, you do? Who?
Well, JJ and Eric would be the first one I would recommend.
Yes.
Unless someone had a specific complaint, like if it was more of a medical issue, I'd say Dr. Barry has a video on it.
Well, that's true. That is, again, case specific. That would be a big one, yeah.
And yeah, I think these are good. But if someone was a little more inclined to be curious about carnivore, I would also send them to Dave Mack.
Well, that's on my list for the yes.
Because then you will be inundated with real life examples of person after person after person after person who's changed their lives with it.
Yep, and that's what I put. If they are actually carnivore curious, they're interested in carnivore, Dave Mack's on the list.
Yes.
Absolutely, which is No Carb Life. Homestead How, also, he makes both lists. Yeah. He's on the list. That's where all the other doctors come for me, or a lot of the others. Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Berry. They're all pretty hardcore carnivore. Although I do like I know Dr. Baker and Dr. Berry both. But they both do interviews with people who aren't totally carnivore, and they have beautiful conversations. Yeah. I would say steak and butter gal. Yeah, Bella. Dave Mack. And
although I would say I think Bella's maybe a little bit better for a slightly younger demographic.
Yes.
Just because I like her channel because there's certain aspirational, because she's such a high level carnivore, she's so good at it. Like doesn't even add salt and stuff, which I can't understand. But if you were trying to convince a younger person that they could change their life, especially issues like skin and weight and energy, she might have more appeal than I think it would be hard for, say, a 25-year-old woman to connect as well with Dr. Berry or Baker.
Yes, true.
Than with Bella.
I
guess
agree.
That's my point.
I agree. And then if we're going in the younger age, and again, not that I don't even know how young these people are, but Michaela, Leah, or Nia.
Nia's way.
Yeah.
Yep.
But is there a Leah too? Lily, that's who I'm thinking of. Lily, not Lee. Yeah, Lily Kane, I think it is. So yeah, definitely younger female demographic would be that. And then let's see. Oh, I'd put Laura Spath in there probably as well. So Laura Spath and Carrie Mann, I think, would hit both lists for me. And of course, ketogenic woman would be fine too.
You haven't mentioned Dr. Boz. How does Boz fit in?
I consider Dr. Boz, who I've been following quite a bit lately, and I think she's wonderful, and I love her presentations. They're really making me understand a lot more about how my system works. I don't think I'd send them there, though, because she does the Dr. Boz ratio, which, again, I think is, the more and more I learn, the more important I think it is that we pay attention to our insulin and our ketones and, the whole scope. But that's a lot for someone who's new. So I think it's just too big of a buy-in to say, for some people, go buy your Keto Mojo meter and start stabbing yourself every day and seeing what your ketones are. And so that's why she's not on my list. But I really do love her. And she wasn't for me at first either. I know you came to her quite early. Yeah.
What about Dr. Bright?
I forgot about Dr. Bright.
How could you?
How could I forget? Okay. So, Dr. Bright I'm torn with her because a lot of females have hormonal issues. That's one of the things they're looking for. But again, I don't know. She is carnivore, period.
She also doesn't mince words.
No. So
and isn't maybe as she's so serious.
Yes.
And I think that some people are going to need a little more humor, a little more rapport before they're drawn in. I think she might be a next level.
Yeah.
Once you start to buy into the concept, then you go Dr. Bright to fix your hormones.
Yeah. So I agree. She's a tough one to put on my list, and
she's really good.
I've got her book, one of her books. Yeah, she's great.
But our goal is to try to, how do you get someone who's expressed, like, what are you doing? And you want to get them down the path, but you're not trying to sell carnivore right out the gate.
Right. You're trying to sell a proper human diet.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even say Nisha.
Well,
gee, why did... Okay, so this is why I haven't been in the Nisha loop, is just simply that I haven't been in the Nisha loop, so then it falls off your feed, right? So she would be she's ketovore.
Right, an excellent kind of halfway between.
Yeah. So she might be a really good option for someone as well. Yeah.
And she had the whole Hashimoto's thing. So.
She did. She did. And I did recommend, I had a friend who was curious about what I was doing. I did tell her, reveal everything, that I was carnivore, etc. And I did send her down Nisha's way because she does have Hashimoto's. So, yeah. So it's, you have to know your audience.
There's so many more carnivore channels that are amazing we haven't even brought up. But it's not because we don't like you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I steep myself in carnivore content, and there are countless other channels that I dip into.
And we're a very small carnivore channel. And there's ones that are just started that are much smaller, and occasionally I'll see it'll pop up on my feed and I'll tune in. And usually it's somebody who's sharing their carnivore experience. You're like, okay, day 3 on carnivore. And it's kind of interesting, but that's not what I'm trying to consume at this point. Although there was a time when that's what I would have wanted more than anything.
Yeah.
So that has its own place, but there's so many of those, it's almost impossible to recommend particular one. And the algorithm will show it to you.
Yes.
The key is to get somebody into it so that the algorithm starts feeding them the rest of the content.
Yes.
But you didn't mention our name, but if this individual watches this Judy Cho video you sent them to with Dr. Eid, it's not unlikely that our faces will appear along the side.
It could happen. I searched Dr. Eid about a week ago, and we showed up.
Just because we talk about her every episode.
Every episode. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I usually see this person about once a week, sometimes twice. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if
they show up and are like, "You're on YouTube talking about this stuff. Why didn't you just say that?"
Oh, it's weird. It's kind of weird.
It's weird. So we do have evidence, and we got to be careful because we don't want to dox anybody here, of others who have just seen our progress and who have begun to make changes in their eating patterns.
Yes.
But we don't know a lot of specifics. And we don't want to probe in because it's like the kind of thing where you don't want to wreck it.
No.
By noticing it. That's one of the things my mom always wrecked. My mom wrecked everything by noticing it. Like if I made some sort of change in the way I was dressing or some habit, she would notice it right in my face, and then I would stop my positive change.
Noticing it in someone's face, I try not to do that
You
either.
never notice something at them.
No.
Because as soon as you draw attention to it, you make them self-conscious, and then they go back to their old routine.
My life coaching training tells you there are people you won't want to let know right away that you've started on this path.
Yeah.
And they may be the people who are closest to you. And it's okay to not tell them.
Because they'll sabotage you.
Well, that can happen too, but it's because it's so fragile. You're very vulnerable at that time.
Well, now we did talk, we'd mentioned this some months ago. There was somebody working on the house. We mentioned carnivore too, because it was just a very direct thing. They had a specific issue. He said, watch Dr. Barry on this topic. And this person was really kind of interested in it, but then in talking to his significant other, met a huge wall of resistance, and that was enough, I think, to stymie the decision to try it.
Yeah.
And that's too bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what can you do? You can't browbeat somebody into making a change. They've got to choose it for themselves.
The seed has been planted.
Yeah.
Because I think that for me in life too, 3 is a magic number. So if I hear something and then I hear it again relatively soon after that, and then I hear it again relatively soon after that, I go, okay, all right, I better just check this out. So yeah.
Now we just made this video, carnivore like basics, where you cooked steaks, I cooked some eggs and bacon, and we answered the basic fundamental questions. And the intent of that was, here's a video you can send someone who's carnivore curious and who like doesn't even know how to cook a steak. It's like for the college boy who learned those skills. But now I'm thinking maybe we need to make the video for the spouse, the friend, the significant other who's really skeptical and doesn't want their and And this is something that someone who wants to do carnivore can send to their loved one about what they're about ready to undertake.
Yeah.
And we can offer some reassurance that it's not going to clog their arteries in 90 days. Mm-hmm. It's not going to cause them any problems in 90 days. And in fact, you're likely to see a massive improvement in their health.
Yeah.
Hey, we are at the hugely impressive Wisconsin landmark called the Mars Cheese Castle. Of course, one of the first things you see when you enter the Cheese Castle is the cheese head display. And I have to say, I've never had one of these on my head in my life, nor have I owned one.
So here's what we picked up for one of our loyal viewers as a little birthday gift. We got some Troyer Havarti, so a nice mild cheese. I honestly didn't try this, but Havarti, I mean, come on.
You can't really go wrong with that.
No.
It's a Havarti party.
It is. And why I did that was to contrast this 9-year-old sharp cheddar right there.
Ooh.
Now, I tried this. I love sharp cheese. This is sharp cheese.
Sharp.
And you even tried
It's
it.
sharp.
Did it make your face go?
But I don't like sharp cheeses, so
No.
I'm not the best test taster for that.
No, me and my daughter, we like sharp.
Test taster or taste tester?
Taste tester. Yeah. So we thought that the Havarti, we meaning me, the Havarti would be a nice sort of palate cleanser to the 9-year-old sharp cheddar. We do have another cheddar coming up because what carnivore doesn't want raw cheddar as well? So we have a Bunker Hill raw cheddar selected. And then we did go to the Cheese Emporium. So to prove that, we got the good old Mars Cheese Castle Cheese Castle. I don't even know what type of cheese this is. It's probably more cheddar. Yeah. And then it just says a 4-ounce castle. I don't know what it is. You'll have to let us know. So we did that. And then we brought back, it's in my fridge for myself, an Aussie cheddar.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Which was very interestingly tasting. Interestingly tasting? No, it's a very slightly different flavor profile. So I got that for me, and hopefully I'll share it with my daughter when she's home for the holidays. Oh wait,
And
one more thing.
the cheese head apron. That it not only is it a cheese head apron, it's a reversible cheese head
That's right.
apron. So now you will be an honorary Wisconsinite.
Yep. Now, yeah.
There were cheese heads for sale there.
Right when you walk in, you can see the cheese heads. Did we get footage of that? We might have gotten
I
footage
think we
of that.
did, yeah.
And so the cheese heads are right there. And we didn't buy one. No.
They're large.
But here's the funny thing, is the Cheese Castle is a pretty large building, but the cheese section, kind of small. I mean, in comparison to the whole building.
Yeah.
So they were selling a lot of snacks, a lot of candy, Wisconsin products, Wisconsin wines, Wisconsin beers.
Cheese Castle merch.
Cheese Castle
That
merch.
was a big part of it.
Yeah.
It's right along the freeway. So people who are driving along, like they're coming up from Illinois, they'll see it right away. And so people are like, oh, I want to go to there because it looks like a castle.
It looks like a castle.
And there was a lot of people there. It was the first time I had been there, maybe ever.
Yeah.
Certainly I was never in it when it was the castle.
Yeah, because it used to, I think I mentioned in the former footage that there used to be a different building. And I don't believe it was called the Cheese Castle, but it didn't look like a castle back then. I think I went there once. But I have to say, so the cheese area, I mean, it was a nice sized cheese store, don't get me wrong, but for the whole castle, it's relatively small. But they the service was great. At the cheese counter, they're like, what can I help you get? What are you looking for? Here, this is over here. This is over here. Oh, would you like to sample that? And they'll just give you a sample right there at the cheese counter of anything that's in the cabinet.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then elsewhere, there are other cheese fridges and other samples out in the cheese store area. So
all of the samples that were out were too sharp for me.
yeah,
There was no mild ones.
No, there were not.
Although there was that weird maple one that obviously it had maple syrup in it, so it wasn't be a choice for me.
After you tried it,
Yeah,
because you did try. I mean, these
Yeah.
are little cheese squares.
tiny little taste.
So I tried some too, and I did not like it
No, it didn't work.
because it tasted like pancakes, but it was cheese. It didn't work for me. It was not good. So yeah, we enjoyed our excursion to the Mars Cheese Castle. And would recommend, if you are a dairy eater and you're up Wisconsin way,
Yep.
head on over to the Cheese Castle, get some good Wisconsin cheese and some samples while you're there.
And then that's not too far from Memphis barbecue.
Not Memphis.
That's not too far from Mission Barbecue.
That's it. Yes, Mission Barbecue. And we ate there yesterday.
And not only was the food really good, the service was beyond anything I've ever experienced at any restaurant of any kind.
It was great. We will definitely be back. And we know it's a chain.
And we had the ribeye, which was some sort of a temporary special because it had like an espresso rub on it or something.
Yep, it was the black
very
plate special.
A brisket was excellent. The pulled pork was excellent.
Yeah, that's all we had. It was funny though, because you had said you were a carnivore, and not that we expect people to exactly know what that is, but it was so funny because she's like, well, if you want, we got those 3 types of meat. And she's like, well, why don't you just get the black plate special with these 2 meat platter or whatever? And we're like, no. We want a half a pound of meat each. Like she didn't quite understand how much meat we really
we should
wanted.
have been more clear. Like, I want the ribeye, and then I want a half a pound of brisket, and I want a half a pound of pulled pork, and then you could have.
And then give me another ribeye. We were actually.
I don't want to share any of the brisket or the pulled pork.
No, she only gave us 1 ribeye. Again, the service was great, so it was just our clarity in ordering, and so we weren't charged for 2 ribeyes or anything, but we only got 1 ribeye.
Yeah.
Which was fine. You could have eaten more.
I could have eaten 3 of the ribeyes alone because they weren't that big.
But I was done, and the pricing was decent. Yeah, the pricing was decent.
I don't know how those ribeyes were cooked because it was not medium rare. It was cooked all the way through, but it was very good texture.
I think it was smoked, and then I think it said something about seared. So
Okay, that would make
but
sense.
the fat was so good too. Oh my goodness.
It was good fat.
Yeah.
It was very good fat.
So yeah, definitely Mars and Mission. Oh.
Yeah, good combo. Although there's missions elsewhere, I don't know how widespread they are, but they are on my good list.
Yes, they are.
And the other one we just went to, which I won't name,
No, we won't name that one.
they are on my bad list.
That was the one we complained about getting. It was supposed to be a half a pound of meat, and it was not.
With the tray.
It was maybe. Yeah, it was bad. The three meat platter was maybe 2/3 of a
It was the
pound.
3-bite platter.
It really was. It was like a little tablespoon of meat. Not good. And it was fine. It didn't taste as good either.
It didn't taste good. No.
was fine.
Not only was there not much of it, it didn't taste good.
No.
So for Carnivore, that location was bad. But I'm not here to badmouth.
No, we're
Them-
not going to say who it is.
I'm only going to say positive things about the good one.
Those evil cows are hitting the climate in the face. The methane they're emitting is rising up to space. They're gonna try to cook us like we've been cooking them. I can't believe it took us so long to comprehend. The cows are coming, the cows are coming for you. They won't stop grazing, they won't stop gassing, amassing a greenhouse too. The cows are coming, can't you hear the drumming of those evil cloven hooves? The cows are coming, the cows are coming for you. There's a dark storm brewing in those fields behind our backs. The cud they're chewing is the grudge that fuels their attacks. They're gonna try to roast us like we've been roasting them. Now our only hope is to become vegetarians. The cows are coming, the cows are coming for you. They won't stop grazing, they won't stop gassing, amassing a greenhouse too. The cows are coming, can't you hear the drumming of those evil cloven hooves? The cows are coming, the cows are coming for you. Will be our reality if we don't defeat them and their herd mentality. The cows are coming, the cows are coming for you. They won't stop grazing, they won't stop gassing, amassing a greenhouse too. The cows are coming, can't you hear the drumming of those evil cloven hooves? They won't stop grazing, they won't stop gassing, amassing a greenhouse too. The cows are coming, can't you hear the drumming of those evil cloven hooves? The cows are coming, the cows are coming for you.